Good morning, everybody. I am enjoying I always have a cup of coffee first thing in the morning, and then I have a cup of red ginseng tea. So now we're on to red ginseng tea, which is always a good thing. And I don't know if you're getting tired of seeing me do some of these on my front steps, but while the weather is still nice, I figure it's a good opportunity. Had to tape yesterday inside, but you know, these things happen. And once it starts to get colder, you never know where I'm going to tape them. So I figure let's just enjoy it. What's really funny though is when people walk by and they don't know what to do. And yesterday, actually, as I was taping, my neighbor popped out and then saw I was taping and ran back in her house. I said, don't worry about it. It's fine. These things happen. So this morning, my husband and I went for a walk, and we were walking by a house where people had obviously been gone for a couple days because they had some newspapers stacked up on their porch. You know, actual newspapers. You know, like newsprint. Remember those? And they were the Wall Street Journal. What was so surprising to me is it was like this thick. It was so tiny. And I'm not really surprised because I know how, print media is changing and how we consume information now. But it made me think, I was kind of giggling about when I used to read the newspaper every day. And then kind of life got too busy to read it every day, so I'd have it on the weekends, and I loved going through the paper. But it also made me think of, I had two things that reminded me of this today. Then I was reading one of my online periodicals called The Skim. Many of you may know it. It's a great way to boil down kind of the headlines of the world in some really easy bite-sized pieces. And then if you want to research any of the articles more in depth, they have links to other things. It's a great concept because you can just, get a skim of what's going on in the world. And today there was a link on horoscopes. And I thought, well, that'll be fun. I'm going to just see what my horoscope says. And it's like for the, kind of plotting the end of 2020 and how to get you through 2020 well on your horoscope. And so what reminded me of that is when I did take the paper daily, or even when I was a kid and my parents took it daily, I always read my horoscope for the day. And it was really cheesy. I don't, know who really wrote those, and usually they were, generic enough that they could fit almost, any circumstance. But I always enjoyed it because it was like, do you get a little glimpse into your day? But then if it told you you're going to have a terrible day, well, that's kind of a bummer. If it tells you you're going to have a great day, then you're like, great. Always made me wonder, why not just assume you're always going to have a great day? Skip some of the drama. So today, when I clicked on this and was reading my horoscope for the end of the year, by the way, I'm a Pisces, which means that this might come as a surprise, I'm outgoing, and I, like people, and I'm sociable and all those things. But I can also take on too many things. So the horoscope today, and now we've got road construction going on here too, so this is going to be really interesting to try and tape this, but this is what we do, this is the drama of it. Anyway, so it said to me that for Pisces, for the end of the year, you should pay attention to whether or not you have too many projects that you're juggling. And I had to laugh because I'm like, I'm trying to finish my first actual novel, and I'm doing this in a really bizarre, different way. I have 5 business books that are in various stages of completion. Let's see, we started a new company, we've relaunched the podcast, we've relaunched the YouTube channel. I'm starting to do media appearances on a regular basis, so I'd say I probably have a few things in motion. Now, the earlier Michael, the one from like 25 years ago, frankly would have read that and said, oh my gosh, you've got too many things going on. You need to stop. You need to limit what you're doing. But now that I'm thinking through the process a little differently and I'm looking at what I'm accomplishing differently, first thing I thought is I need to delegate more. Now, when I ran a really large sales organization and had 500 people working for me and 25 to 30 managers, it was easy to delegate. They're people. You just, know certain things that other people can do, you delegate it. Or you go to your partners within the organization and you find out how to accomplish some projects with other people's help. So delegating in a small company that you own is different now. And yet, I've got 5 employees, so why not delegate more? Why not figure out how well people can rise to challenges? So as I begin to delegate new things, and I'm also thinking about, what does it take to get to the end of this year, this calendar year, and really accomplish a lot of these goals, it is about delegation. And it may also be about making choices. But it's like now I see it as everything is an opportunity. So figure out how to take them to their full potential. And along the way, you'll know whether or not it's viable. And if it's viable, then find a way to accomplish it, whether it's with you or with somebody else. And that way you're not limiting. So I just told you that I have like 5 business books in motion. And one of them is one I came up with this summer when I was out on the stand-up paddleboard of my husband's family lake place in northern Minnesota. As many of you know, that's like my Zen time. That's where I have my, clearest headspace, is those moments, that I have out on the paddleboard with no one around me and just the quiet of the water and the singing, of the birds around you. And I came up, it just like hit me, and I actually came in and then voice recorded probably the first 2 chapters or 3 chapters of the book. And I title it Dream Big, Think Bigger. Dream big, think bigger. Because I think all of us like to dream big. And we all, have these goals and aspirations. But for many times in my life, I had really, really big dreams, but I didn't think big enough to accomplish some of them. And that's really the point, is dream big, go for it, but think bigger. Think bigger than where you are now. To accomplish what you want to accomplish, whether it's get a promotion, make a job change, start your own company, take your hobby to fruition, build a garden, I don't know. Travel the world. Go ahead and dream big. But if you really want to accomplish them, you have to think bigger than where you are today. Because if you're thinking that that's a big dream, that means that you haven't yet found success in that yet. So to achieve it means you have to think beyond where you are. I talk a little about this like in my Shock Your Potential book, where it's, which is almost done too. But it's really about kind of looking at those people that have already accomplished some of the things that you want to accomplish, and investigating how do they do that? How do they juggle all those things? How do they have a podcast and a TV show and, write articles, and they're doing media all around the world, and they start a clothing line. Well, they don't do it from, thinking small. They do it by thinking bigger than where they are. And that's when they bring people and opportunities closer to them that will help them get there. So with that in mind, here's my challenge to you. We've got a lot of dreams for this company, and they are coming to fruition every day, which is absolutely phenomenal. And we got a lot of fun things that I'm going to be laying out later this week. Hint, hint, like maybe tomorrow in the live broadcast. So I want you to be a part of it. So here's what I need you to do. If you have not downloaded the Shock Your Potential app, please do. Number one, there's a ton of free content. But there's also some things that are special only for our executive members, which is $6 a month. I mean, come on, you can't even get that. I mean, a cup of coffee, well, it's not red ginseng tea, but Follow us on our YouTube channel. So look up Shock Your Potential again. Follow us on our Facebook page, which I think is, you can look it up under Shock Your Potential, but I think it's under Michael S. Speaks. That's what I originally had it and haven't changed it. That's Michael S., for Michael Sherlock Speaks, when I was just, speaking. So follow us on those channels, but definitely download the app, because you want to know what's coming. Because if you have big dreams and you want to think bigger, I'm going to show you how to do it. It's not going to cost you anything more than following us and, just making sure we are all dreaming big enough together. Have an incredible day. And remember, we all have to keep focused in order to shock our own potential.